Hey y'all, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm. Okay, here's your weekly update on the chicken tractor on steroids. Now, we extracted all of the roosters out of this system down here, and as we speak, they're up there soaking right now, cooling off, becoming very tender, hopefully. Okay, so we promised you that we were going to make the transition from a chicken tractor on steroids with meat birds into one where it's layers. And this is how all this begins. It's going to unfold over several days, so bear with us on this. Okay, so we're going to kind of put a few things in here. First thing that's going to happen is that we got this pile of compost that came out of this chicken tractor on steroid system. And down here, you can see the one that we've already moved the net on. We moved the net on this one last night when we were putting everything up. So what's going to happen, we're going to take that pile that's under the tarp along with this pile, we're going to combine them. But when we do it, we're going to take all the feathers, all the guts, all the other things that we got from the processing, and it's going to be layered within that compost. It's going to be something of a 18-day compost pile, okay? That's how we're going to treat that pile. When we take that one and that one, put them together, we got a little more carbon intentionally in this system, so that's exactly how it's going to be used up. Of course, the nitrogen coming from those birds, from what's left over of those birds. So that's going to happen. That's one thing. Okay, another thing that's going to happen is that in the chicken tractor on steroids that consisted of the meat birds, where we extracted all the roosters, we've already moved them down last night. You didn't catch that part on film. The net actually came up to here. Then we moved it last night on the other side when we kind of gathered up the piles. Now, we got a detachment of birds in there still. And then over there in the distance is our laying flock, okay? So we're gonna do like a integration thing, and it's gonna go much better than Brown versus Board of Education on this one. So what's gonna happen, we're gonna take that chicken tractor over there, we're gonna drive it up alongside this one, we're gonna set up the net, and these birds are gonna get kind of acquainted. Overnight, we're gonna take one set of birds, put them in the tractor of the other. When they wake up, they're gonna all be one flock. Now there's gonna be a little bit of squabbling in there, but that rooster, by and large, is gonna keep things together so that it won't be all that bad. But that's exactly what's gonna happen today. We're gonna flip these piles. William is gone this weekend. He's knocking out some things. And so it's me and Michelle. So it's gonna take considerably longer than it normally does, but that's cool. That's what we do. That's what this is all about. And folks, honestly, when you flip these piles, it's only one day a week. I've done it myself and I've demonstrated it right here on this channel. So it ain't that hard. And plus, it's good to make a pretty good workout out of this stuff anyway. Okay, so all we're gonna do is do what we've normally done. We're gonna flip these two piles, flip all the piles down the hill, move the chicken tractor, take that chicken tractor, bring it over, let them all out, let them kind of get acquainted. Like I said, when they wake up tomorrow, so this video is gonna probably unfold over a couple of days and we'll let you know how that goes. So this marks the day that we begin the transition from a meat chicken tractor on steroids to a laying chicken tractor on steroids. I think you're going to dig it. So the original laying flock, they're over here, right alongside here. Now, we're going to go through our typical routine. Remember, go back to the beginning if you don't understand what that is. So this was their compost cage before, all their food. And earlier in the week, we had Justin come out and do a lot of work for us up top. And there was a lot of that silver grass, which we used as something of a mulch in here as our carbon. Okay, we've never composted this stuff before, but you know, if it's like anything else, we know it's gonna, we know that we can compost it. The problem is that some of this stuff is very, very stringy. We didn't chop it up, so it's gonna be something of a pain to deal with, I can already tell you. So all we're gonna do is take this, toss it down to here, we're gonna make a little compost pile, and then all the ones up the hill, they're gonna follow down too. But first things off, we don't have a whole lot of birds left in here because remember, these two are going to combine. So we're going to let them out and we're going to start the getting acquainted process. Typically when I do this, because it makes life easy. When you get all the work done beforehand, we have a lot of stuff to do. We had a lot of stuff to do this morning, so we didn't get quite as on it as early as we would have liked. But anyway, you got to watch out for birds when you swing these pitchforks. So we're just going to make sure of that. But right now, we'll go ahead and let them out. These are the gals that are left. Beautiful birds. And just about, well, every single one of the birds in this system every single one of them were hatched by us. Well, I take that back. Those naked necks that look like they came out of a Harry Potter story, we bought those, and I think there was a couple of others that we bought. But by and large, every bird in here, for the most part, are ones that we hatched and brought into this system. They were originally all going to be meat birds, but by popular request, you know, we're now transitioning over to a laying system. And take a look at them, y'all. Take a look at them. There's no food in here. This is what makes this system fantastic, y'all. Is because, look, we don't have to feed them by and large. They're out getting all their protein. They're going to start scratching out these piles, and the second we turn these piles, as soon as we turn them, they're going to be right back to it because they want the biota, the microorganisms in there that you and I can't see, but with their sharp eyesight, they can see it. That's what they're after right now. Look at them working through there. That is the beauty of this system. And we're going to show you that when we finally, a lot of these gals ain't ready to lay yet, but they're getting close. When they start laying, they will outperform a typical chicken tractor where you feed dry food or even fermented food by up to 10%. You'll see a darker yolk. You see all these things, folks. This is why this system is so fascinating to me and why I wish more people would do it. Anyway, I'll quit yapping. We're going to go ahead, get this area watered down. We're going to flip this pile. Birds are going to love that. And then we'll take the stuff from the inside of their little home there. We'll put it inside. Go back, watch the beginning, folks. I don't want to keep hatching the same stuff every week, but this is the beginning of the transition from a meat bird system to a laying system. We're going to show you how we do it. All right, folks, this is typical in this system. As soon as you turn a pile, because they don't always scratch it down to the bottom. If they do, that's really good. We had some people reach out to us doing this thing, and they were wondering what happens, you know, what's the problem when they spread it all out. They're spreading it all out, folks, because they are eating everything in it. That's a good sign. Plus, when they do it, they're also pooping on that, adding more nitrogen, creating something of a loop, because that nitrogen is going to break down, attract more biota, more food for them. And then as the pile becomes less and less active, they're going to become less and less interested in it. But right here, look at this, folks. This is what happens. This is the beautiful part in this pot, this is the beautiful part in this system that I never get tired of seeing. As soon as you turn that, bam, they're all over it again because they're like, oh, okay, dinner bells are ringing. We haven't fed them anything yet. This is where they're getting their food. They're eating those little things that you and I can't see. Now, little side note, this is the first time we've ever put that Chinese silvergrass in this system. So I'm a little bit concerned about what may or may not happen, whether we just introduced seeds down here. I don't think we did. But by and large, I mean, this stuff was already dead for a while up there before Justin snatched it with his bucket and put it in a pile. But this is exactly what we want to see. So that first pile's turned. We're going to turn the rest of them down the hill. It's going to be a lot of turning today. So what we're going to do is what we typically do. We're going to drop their food scrap, and there's a lot of it in this particular week. Now, they've already been out here extracting a bunch of protein already, but check out over there. Look at these other birds. They're like, oh man, we want some of that. They're like, okay, yeah, we can dig it. So what's going to happen? We got to do a couple of things actually tomorrow. We're going to clip their wings because they've been kind of getting in the mindset of wanting to fly out. We're going to clip their wings. We're going to clip those guys as well. We're going to integrate this flock. When these guys wake up, let me say it a different way. Let me get over here so you better see it. This is usually the meat tractor. That's the layered tractor, okay? Has an automatic door on it, the whole 9 yards. We love it. Now, I intentionally left the number to just enough to be able to fit in that chicken tractor. And in fact, when Jeff Lawton initially designed this system, there was 28 birds in his. Well, that's exactly what we're going to have. It's 28 counting the rooster. Okay, so we're going to take all them, stick them into that tractor, get rid of this one for a couple of reasons. Number one, that one's a little easier to manage. This one needs repairs. You can see it now. It's kind of lopsided. So anyway, tonight, we're going to take these guys in here, put them in with there after this day of acquaintance. They're going to wake up tomorrow morning. Persimmon Phil, the rooster's going to keep order. There's going to be a little bit of squabbling, but not much. You could let them stay like this for a few days, but really it's not necessary, at least not from our experience. Now that everything's good here, we're gonna pivot, get our attention up there. We're gonna combine those two piles that we talked about earlier, and we'll talk you through that. So, this is the path that the chicken tractor on steroids took. We just uncovered this pile here. It's largely finished. There's a lot of woody stuff in there, so it can break down some more. That's one that just came out, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna meet it halfway. I wish these piles, had I thought about it a little bit better, I would have brought them in a little closer. And don't worry about the bare soil, folks. It won't be before long. All we're gonna do, wet this ground, and we're gonna layer it. We're gonna mix these two piles, that one being much woodier, you can kind of tell from here. And then in these buckets, we got all the things that we got from the chickens. We got a bunch of feathers in here, okay? Over here, we got, let's see here. Well, we got guts and legs and feet and guts, okay? Now, to a lot of people out there, and I don't know where it came from or why, they say don't do this. Well, I'm telling you, we do. And what I produce, the compost I'm gonna produce by combining these two piles, we got high quality, awesome compost already. But I'm telling you right now, having done this quite a few times, this will be the most energetic, power pack compost that we make out here. Every time we take these guts, the blood, all that kind of stuff, it's all here. Every time we do that, the compost we produce out of that is on another level. We already produce compost that's extraordinary, but this stuff will be on another level. So that's how we're gonna do it. So what we're gonna do, we'll go ahead and wet this ground. Always do that first when you're doing these piles. Wet your ground, especially when it's as dry as it is. You can see right now I'm sweating and I love it. That's part of it. Okay, y'all, I'm just gonna put down a base layer. This is some guts. Oh, shoot. Bucket's coming apart on me. And no, it's sat overnight, so it doesn't smell fantastic. But that's what we're gonna start with. Let me go ahead and rinse this bucket out. I'm using the edges of this pile, the areas that are less active, if you'll notice. All this stuff in the inside, it's a little more active, okay? That's what I don't want to use. I want to use this stuff that didn't quite break down as my base layer, because I need it to break down, and that's what all that nitrogen is going to do. All right, y'all, there you go. Okay, the bottom side wasn't as broken down as the pile on the top. So we used that one first to make sure we got all of our guts and everything else in there. Now at this point, we're gonna use this, we're gonna treat this like an 18-day compost pile. We're gonna hit it with the tarp. We didn't put any water on top, as you probably noticed, because the stuff on the top side was already nice and moist, perfectly broke down. So here we are, folks. I'm gonna wait about 4 days and then I'm gonna turn it, so on and so forth. So this is gonna be stuff that we use up in the raised beds near the house. So we're gonna cover this up, let it do its thing. Down there, we're gonna integrate the chickens. So this is going to continue tomorrow. This is probably going to be quite a long video. Remember, folks, if you haven't already, go to the backtothelandfestival.com. Check it out there. We got that event going on in October. Check it out, folks. It's going to be awesome. You're going to watch me take down an entire pig, and we're all going to eat it. So that's pretty cool. You want to come in for no other reason than for that. Maybe learn a little bit about butchery in the process. There you have it. Remember, subscribe. Tell your friends about us. We're doing some pretty awesome stuff here. Till next time, this is Billy, the Permaculture Pimp Daddy, where PIMP stands for permaculture is my passion. And so is making awesome compost like this. We'll see y'all next time.